Hello everybody and welcome to the HLTV Recap show presented by GG.BET. We've finally made it. We've got to the legend stage. 13 of the top 15 teams in the world congregating in Antwerp in Belgium for a celebration of Counter-Strike to figure out who's the most dominant, who's the champion of them all. Today we had 2 rounds of the Swiss stage, 16 total games. Here's the schedule here in case you don't know what you're in for. A lot of great games today. It's the same format as the Challenger stage. 3 wins gets you through to the playoffs. 3 losses sends you packing. ENCE versus FaZe, Navi versus G2, the obvious headliners in round number 1, but plenty of awesome Counter-Strike that was going to be played today, that did get played today. Let's get it on. Heroic taking on Liquid. Liquid's coming off a Challenger stage that saw them qualify from an 0-2 hole, and they're desperately trying to avoid a similar start in a more difficult field of opponents in this Legend stage. This was a game of heavy momentum, big swings on each side. There were good performances for Liquid from NAF and Nitro, but completely eclipsed by Tess's. 27 kills and 109 ADR and a 1.51 rating. Heroic closed things out 16-11, winning 4 of the final 5 rounds, and this is exactly what Liquid did not want. This is a very, very tough place to be in. It's awesome to see Heroic kind of come in as the cold team. We've seen in the past Challenger teams kind of make some early upsets in the Legend stage just because they've been playing. Heroic avoids that fate. Oh my word, Cloud9 is back in Counter-Strike. We love to see it, although of course these guys should be in polos, so we're waiting for that still. They all look a little bit odd in just the regular standard jersey. It's good to get started on the right foot when you're with a new organization. Axile's going to make sure that happens. He gets 22 frags with a 1.43 rating. He got 21 frags of help from Inters as well. Outsiders fall down to 0-1 to start their march towards playoff, or their attempted march towards playoff. Remember as well, this team, kind of the story around Challenger stage has obviously been a lot of publicity. This team, we don't know what they're going to look like after the major. We don't know what the shuffle is going to happen. So Cloud9 able to take a nice win there. And as I mentioned, there's always a couple of upsets in the Legend stage at majors against the more warmed up challengers who had played the week before. We've avoided up to this point, but FaZe would fall prey to that here. They're one of the favorites to take the entire tournament after recent successes at IEM Katowice, the ESL Pro League finals, where they actually beat ENCE in those grand finals. Today was a quiet day for them. They couldn't handle ENCE whatsoever, not at all. Spinks continues to impress with 26 kills and 12 deaths. Madden added impact at 20 and 15, and a solid offensive half from ENCE allowed them to close things out 16-8. 2 pretty solid dark horse picks for deep runs at Antwerp. FURIA from recent results, Spirit from how damn good they looked in the Challenger stage. Dexter's been a monster for Spirit throughout that Challenger stage, but it was a quiet game for him today. It was Siren and Patsy to put up the numbers for Spirit. 23 kills on both. FURIA could get nothing going in the second half on offense as Spirit erected a wall. 11-2 on defense for Spirit, and they close out a pretty tight game, 16-12. It is great to see some of these, not even underdogs the wrong word, but Spirit, you probably wouldn't have expected this. I didn't expect it coming into this, but it's a wonderful surprise. Defending major champs coming into Antwerp with an uneasy feeling around the team. They've looked a little bit shaky, but that crown was hard won and won't be relinquished easily. This game had all the name value you could want. Nico and m0NESY, Simple, BIT, and Electronic. And huge impact was made by Nico and m0NESY, but it was actually Hunter topping the board with 30 kills. Guy just always seems to deliver big games on Mirage. Still, he had to contend with BIT on the other side of the map, who outdid him by 1. 31 kills, 91 ADR, and a 1.3 rating for BIT. You throw in a couple clutches from Simple at the perfect moments, and you get an overtime victory for Navi, 19-17. Perfecto, this is one of those clutches. Absolutely magnificent. Good nade work, fine nade work, and a nice 1 vs 2 victory. Navi start things out 1-0. Elsewhere in Swiss round 1, we had these 3 games taking place. Copenhagen Flames took on fan favorites Bad News Eagles 16-14, showing they still got some major magic left over from Stockholm. NIP trounces Vitality. Some incredible performances from individual from NIP. We'll take a look at those at the end of the show. Big celebrating German legend GG.BET's return to the team with a nice win over Imperial, 16-11. That was the first round of Swiss over in Antwerp for the Legends stage. Players at this point obviously get to take a break, grab some food, rest and relax, fix what issues they can in what small amount of time they have, and start preparing and look ahead to the next round of matches. Speaking of which, here you go. This was the draw going into Swiss round 2 on day 1. Liquid versus FURIA is a nice match for, depending on which side of the pond you're on. Battle of the Americas. Spirit and Heroic, Cloud9 and NIP are sneaky bangers, but you know what? We're going to get right back into it. Swiss round number 2 is at hand. Vitality is trying to bounce back off a brutal 4-16 loss earlier to NIP. Some of these guys watch their former team and teammates get knocked out of the challenger stage, so they're all too aware of the consequences of poor performances. They get no mercy from outsiders. They get no mercy from Yekindar. 1.65 rating, 23 kills, 114 ADR. He was an absolute beast. Flit was putting in work as well with 25 kills and 98 ADR. Vitality at one point in the map was up 6-1. And then from there, outsiders go on a 15-2 run to take the map. It's a stunning turnaround, a stunning swing, and just even a more stunning day for Vitality. They could not have expected to end this opening day 0-2. That is brutal. Spirit versus Heroic. It's a tough task at hand immediately for Spirit, drawing Heroic in round number 2, and Cadian does not need a speech to get his players focused up for the major. I've mentioned about 1,000 times it feels like Dexter is out of this world, but again, you got to chill today. You got to sit back and relax and watch his teammates do the work. It was Patsy in this matchup to deliver the goods. 25 kills, 1.41 rating, and had a good game in the previous match as well. Still, Cadian was fighting back admirably on the other side with 22 frags, but it was the T side. It was the overall team effort that really hindered Heroic. They could only put up 2 rounds on their offensive half, so Spirit's defense closed out a tight affair, 16-12. Spirit gonna take the victory there. This one felt like a throwback game to the Stockholm Major to me, where Copenhagen Flames showed us they could really play ancient. They could really play ancient, and performances from Roy and Nikadaz brought home the nostalgic feeling. 21 and 20 kills respectively. Copenhagen Flames had a 7-1 run in the first half on defense, a 6-1 run in the second half on offense. Ents hit a cold streak and could not get anything going. They fall to 1-1 on the day, 16-8 for Copenhagen Flames, and a nice little, I guess I would call this an upset. They've got a chance to qualify for the playoffs tomorrow, and if you think back towards Stockholm one last time, Copenhagen Flames had a chance there to qualify for the playoffs and fell at the final hurdle. They would love to rectify that situation here in Antwerp. 1-0 teams battling it out at the end of the opening day. Another look at the addition of Brolin into this NIP roster. 21 kills on the newest Ninja, 18 kills on the tenured Ninja of Rez. They're going to squeak out a close map 16-14. There were 20 kills apiece on Hobbit, Shiro, and Inters, but the problem was the defense. The Cloud9 defense could not keep NIP out of the bomb sites whatsoever. NIP planted the bomb 10 times in the second half, converting 7 of them into round wins. New look NIP looking real good, and they're now within smelling distance of the playoffs, and I think still, this team continues to surprise just because we know they have the big name of Device on the team but not playing. We know there's some pieces that have been missing, but they've still been able to maintain a good level. This is a solid win for them. Alt Phenom Monesi going toe-to-toe with the wily veteran sniper of Fallen. Youth would overcome experience this time around, although not comfortably. It would take 28 kills from Monesi and 24 for Nico as that pairing carries G2 over the finish line. Look, expectations are kind of low from this Last Dance team, but it's pretty admirable they're able to play the best teams this close. Flash, as you can see here, would add another clutch to the career highlight reel with a stunning 1 versus 3. G2 breathed a sigh of relief as they closed the map 16-12. They had to be scratching their head why this game was so difficult. Admirable performance from Imperial, and they still fall in the end. Elsewhere, FaZe was happy to take a confidence game versus Bad News Eagles, a 16-4 win for them. Liquid, as we mentioned, trying to avoid that 0-2 hole. They've got to dig themselves out of it again because in the Battle of Americas, they would get bested by Furia 16-9. Na'Vi in a 1-0 game are able to snag a second win over Big. Na'Vi running a 12-match win streak in majors dating back to the start of PGL Stockholm. That's day 1 of the Legend stage. We knew the CS was only going to get more intense as the big dogs joined everyone else out in Antwerp. It was awesome to see them there. Beautiful games of Counter-Strike are playing tomorrow. There's more action coming tomorrow. But first, let's double check the results of all 16 games played today. Make sure you didn't miss anything on the scoreboard. Obviously, a lot of upsets, a lot of interesting results. NIP, Na'Vi, Copenhagen Flames, Spirit all at that 2-0 mark. Teams fighting for their life tomorrow. Imperial, Liquid, Bad News Eagles, Vitality. Tough place to be in. You obviously don't want to be there. Let's check out the best 5 individual performances of the opening day of the Legend stage. I mentioned we'd take a look back at that NIP Vitality game. Rez and S-Tag, the 2 best performance of the day of any players. 1.9 rating, 1.7 rating, both in the 16-4 win over Vitality. Absolute monsters. Tomorrow's schedule gets even more crazy. Heroic and G2 2 is a spicy matchup as Nico goes head-to-head with Cadian. Cloud9 FaZe is a battle of heavy hitters, and also, I guess it would be an organizational rematch of the Boston Major. And who would have thought? Liquid had to take down the Astralis organization simply to get to this stage. Now they have to face the departed Astralis players and Vitality to stay alive as legends. And now a word from our sponsor, GG.BET. Use code HLTV for first bet insurance. Get some extra percentage on deposits depending on how close we are to the major final. More information available inside the YouTube description. Please gamble responsibly. That's today's show. Thanks for tuning in. A wonderful first day of the Legend Stage. Day number 2 is coming in tomorrow. A lot of awesome games. And don't worry if you can't keep up with all the action tomorrow, because you know the HLTV Recap Show and myself, Moses, are going to be here to bring you all the action, to recap it all. Make sure you don't miss a thing. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Esports is what we live and breathe. For us, it's more than a game. It's a reality, where a group of letters can mean everything. Where Mirage is a place for bombs, battles, and glory, not an illusion. Where the true heroes are those in front of the screen. GG.BET. This is real.